Hello, everyone. This is You've Got a Thing. I'm Dave Ferry. I was interviewed last week for the Boulevard Theater, on which I'm a board member and sometimes performer. And as is tradition, I am now hosting this episode. Our guests are Michael Unger, artistic director with the Skylight Theater, and David Bonfilio, a pianist and musical director for their current performance, their current holiday offering. So, folks, let's start with you, David.
What do you want to know?
Well, what is that thing you've got? That occurred to me that that's not something that you'd want to hear from your doctor. What is that?
It is not. No,
it's not. No. But especially if you start with like, ooh. But
we're talking about a fabulous holiday concert. It's a great thing to do.
It is. Yeah. So tell us about the thing you've got going.
Well, Michael, why don't you give the summary? It's I think more your brainchild than mine.
Well, thank you, David. So in this challenging time where we hope everyone is well and everyone is as well as can be, we obviously can't do business as usual. So we are forced to move into the virtual realm. We released our first virtual musical called Being Earnest earlier in the fall. And this is our second virtual offering, which is a holiday concert called Skylight Sings, a holiday special. And it's a variety show where we have a great range of music, some traditional holiday music, some untraditional holiday music, some unique spins, unintended, on some holiday music, and a lot of fun. And it's got a lot of quirk, and we've got 21 fabulous performers from the Skylight family. And in between each number, we interview them and talk about a holiday memory that they share with us. So it's a concert, and we try and approximate the experience as if you were sitting in the beautiful Cabot Theater. The concert is also a love letter to the beautiful Cabot Theater. So we've tried to get a lot of beauty shots that we include in the cutaways and in reverse angles and stuff. But we did record this in the Cabot with strict physical distancing and safety protocols. You'll see the band, David and his two compatriots, are wearing masks. There's one singer downstage and they are not masked. Mm-hmm. There are some numbers where it looks like people are right next to each other, but I promise you, we recorded them individually, and then our editor, Ryan Rossman from High Five Studios, cut them into pieces and lined them up next to each other. So it looks like these three women in a trio are right next to each other, but I promise you, they were shot at completely different times. In the interviews up by the fireplace, where I'm having conversation, but I promise you, we shot the guests talking on Tuesday and my response to them on Thursday. And then we cut the screen in half and put those together also.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it does look, I've seen clips of it, and it does look like everybody's singing together. And,
is this a good time to show the promo?
Sure, let's do that.
The theater, you have got to wait, 'cause now you're stuck at home. I met a man who lives in Milwaukee,
and he was heading for
another part of Milwaukee for brats and beer.
If you want to stay healthy in a million ways,
for the holidays you can't beat home sweet home. For the holidays you can't beat home sweet home.
It looks like a lot of fun. Well,
that looks great.
Michael, could you address some of the technical challenges that that you, I mean, because this is something, I mean, we're all theater people, and going into this, you have to have some chops with video and digital and things like that, don't you?
Well, it doesn't hurt. So, you know, I've worked on some film sets. I've done a lot of video editing myself. You know, sometimes when you run theater organizations that don't have a video department, and that's all the theaters I've worked in, they don't have a dedicated video department. A lot of those duties fall to whoever can do that with some skill. So, like I said, I learned some skills. And for instance, the Being Earnest video, I edited all the scenes, and the composer edited all the music. So, and that was probably 1,000 hours of editing, maybe 750 on both our individual parts. Anyway, so, you know, I do have a sense of sort of how to put it together that way. And I did need to know that it's possible to shoot these three women individually and then composite them together. So, like, you know, this may be boring information, but
no, but having that as a knowledge, and you're still able to cobble this together as if you're seeing the three of them.
Yeah, but for instance, when those three ladies are doing their individual takes, if their hand goes too far to the right, it'll get cut off by the next person's shot. So we have to make sure that they stay within the boundaries of where we're going to actually cut those pieces into three. So we just have to have an idea sort of how it goes together. And, you know, the man who was editing it was sort of in charge of our production, our video production. So he was there working the camera. So we would talk, you know, constantly about how to put it together. This particular number with Ryan and his dog Dolly, we shot like a music video where first we recorded the soundtrack and then played it back, and he lip synced because that had several cuts, costume changes and edits. So that couldn't be done vocally live, although most of the numbers were. This particular number we didn't do vocally live because we had to match it up with all of his costume changes. So that was shot more like a music video. With the three girls in the fruitcake number, we had the accompaniment playing in their ears and their headphones so they could all be in sync. Most of the numbers, however, were recorded with live music and the band and live vocals through microphones.
That's amazing. It's
Oh,
amazing.
there's Dave at the piano.
Oh, God.
There he is.
Oh, get that off the
We tried
screen.
to represent.
There, put up the dog. Put up the dog. That's much better.
We did try to represent, you know, the holidays overall. So we have a nice big Christmas tree. We have a Star of David that I actually made for my family based on the ones my grandfather, Grandpa Bob, used to give us when we were kids. Made out of 6 yardsticks and tons of tinsel. And we had a Kwanzaa Kinara. So, and of course, Ding, our fabulous drummer and music contractor and all around amazing guy, brought a few of his little drummer boys as blow molds.
No, it sounds like it's delightful, and I like also the kind of the variety show type of thing that you've keyed upon, and it sounds extraordinarily entertaining. It sounds really entertaining.
Well, I hope so. I think it is.
Yeah. David, did you you did all the orchestrations?
We sort of put this together in a rehearsal with just the band, and then brought the singers in. Liz Norton's number we sort of worked out about 2 minutes before we recorded it, which is just sort of a testament to the musicality of all of these folks that we assembled for this. You know, because we couldn't rehearse all together in person, you know, like you normally would for something like this. There was a little bit of a seat of the pants feel to it, but in sort of an exciting way that the adrenaline was just pumping, and we were able to do some fun things on the fly. And you know, it's video, so you can always stop and go back if something doesn't work out too well. But we didn't do that very often. I think this really feels to me like a live performance.
Yeah.
The band sounded absolutely amazing. This guy's piano skills are just out of this world. And we had a couple numbers that we had other people arrange. A friend of mine who's a Broadway orchestrator, Kim Scharnberg, arranged a mashup of a song from Little Shop and I Have a Little Dreidel, sung by Aaron Bozeman, who will be playing the voice of Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors once we get back in business. So, you know, we got a couple of quirky mashups like that too that are super fun.
It sounds like it was an exciting, fun endeavor. It sounds like it was I mean, the differences that you had to deal with and the challenges. It sounds like you were up to the task, and that it was a lot of fun too.
I would also say the performers were so happy to be back on stage one at a time with the
Yep.
band mask, singing out loud, to an audience that they knew would receive it. A weeks later, but they were very moved. And in the interviews we have up at the fireside chat, I call them, there's a lot of that kind of sentiment where it just feels so good to be back on stage and to connect music to the holidays. It's a time for reflection, and especially in this really challenging world that we're in right now, we need all the family we can get, all the memories we can get. We need to really stick together and find a way through it. And this little diversion and entertainment, we hope, can offer some holiday cheer.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure it will.
What I really enjoyed was just making music with a singer again, because for the last 9 months or so, I've just been making tracks at the piano behind me and emailing them to folks, and it's grown wearisome.
Yeah.
That there's so much. You have to do so much planning on the back end. What is this retard going to be? What's our dynamic going to be here? You have to plan all of these details out in a way that a live performance, you just do it, and you feel the energy between folks. So it was nice to feel that spontaneity as opposed to the very regimented task of making tracks for different projects. This was just, it felt good to be spontaneous again.
Yeah.
And I hope we didn't do our job too well, in that it does look like, especially the fruitcake number and the fireside chat, that we are in the same room at the same time, close to each other. But I cannot underline enough how we were extremely careful with distancing and using the magic of editing to make it look like something other than what it really was.
But Mike, you do bring up something that, if you were too good at it, are there things from our adaptation to this pandemic that you can see bringing into the future post-pandemic?
Yes, I think there are. Talk shows like this, Skylight has started something called Skylight Social, and last Tuesday we had a Skylight Social about the concert, and you get a lot of sort of backstage sort of explanations and antics. We also have 7 of the 21 performers who are all very close friends and complete delights, and they're seeing a clip of their performance for the first time, so it's fun to see their reaction. So if you'd like to go to the Skylight website, click on Skylight Social and you'll see that. But I think that kind of thing will continue, and I think we will try and do as much as we can virtually. You often can't stream a show virtually because of the rights based on, if it was a movie, then Hollywood holds the rights and they don't really want to release to theater. So there are all those complications that nobody really thinks of if you aren't negotiating contracts for musicals. But one of the beauties of this is anyone in the world can see this concert, as opposed to just people who buy a ticket to come to the Cabot Theater. And obviously we'd much rather have you all in the theater in person, because that's what we do.
Right.
But this added benefit of being able to reach, anyone who has an internet connection is kind of amazing, and reminds us that we actually can have a further reach. And I hope that we will continue to work on whatever avenues we have to expand that reach, because, obviously the internet has changed the world in so many ways, but, when I was growing up, you could only learn about musicals from either seeing them or reading them or listening to the LP. And the kids I work with now, I do a lot of shows with young people, like every show that they want to see, they can see on YouTube. And so their knowledge of musical theater, and like they have this incredible range of material that they're digging up because they have access to everything on the internet. So, I think it reminds us that, there is a way to expand in ways we probably might not have thought of before the pandemic.
Right. What's the future for you, David?
Hopefully the future for me is 2 shots in the arm and back in that hole in the ground that I love so much.
Yeah.
It's been like we were talking about before we went on, just sort of fits and starts of different projects. But I'm just looking forward to hopefully getting Little Shop of Horrors up and running sooner rather than later. It's grown wearisome, as I've said. It was just a joy to be back with other musicians.
And you are also the choir director at St. Matthias Parish. Is
St.
that
Monica
right?
now. St.
Monica?
In Whitefish Bay. Yeah, made
Yeah.
that change a few years ago.
Okay.
So
Oh.
that's been consistent. That's been a relatively consistent part of my life through this.
Good.
But again, I'm limited to what I can do. I'm really just a singer and a keyboardist. You just lose that ability to get together and vibrate air with other people, which is
Right.
so
And
exhilarating.
that's one of the most joyous things is to have that choral feeling that you're all singing together. It's an amazing feeling, and it's probably one of the more heartbreaking things for me, is losing that kind of community, that musical community.
Whether it's sacred music, whether it's in the theater, it's that we've lost, we've suspended that ability to get together and feel those vibrations, feel that energy together. So it will be crossing fingers for vaccines and quick distribution and quick uptake.
And as long as we're talking about the future, Michael, it must be very difficult to plan for the future.
I would say nigh on impossible. We have come up with many scenarios, many seasons. We've announced a season and had to completely change, announced a second season.
This project didn't even exist a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, did it? I mean, this came together very, very rapidly.
When we realized that we had to postpone Little Shop, we said, well, we've got to find some way to give our audience some content. And this came up as a natural idea. It's really hard. And, there's no way to know when we all can really be back. There's a lot of hopeful news, great news about the vaccines and, finally people being able to identify, second quarter, more people get vaccine, maybe third quarter, we're back in business as usual. But, no one really knows. It could take any turn, any which way. So it is very challenging. It's a very challenging time to run a theater. It's a challenging time to run a restaurant. It's a challenging time to do anything. But, I'm still able to do what I love to do. And,
Good.
there are no other options. So we do the best we can with the information we have.
One question I wanted to ask real quick too was, because we're running short on time a little bit, but selecting songs is one thing. Doing the orchestrations is a whole nother, but there's a knit that puts the show together. That whole kind of what's the commentary between the songs? Who says what? What comes in? Who did you put that together, David, or Michael too? Did you put all of that together?
I guess I would say I did most of that. When you're trying to put together a concert like this, you want to make sure people, sing songs that they know and love. So, I'd say half the songs are songs that we ask people, to give us a list of songs that they would like to sing, and then we pick the one that fit the theme best. There are a couple of songs that we inserted, like the Dreidel song I had requested, and we rewrote the lyrics to Home for the Holidays.
And did you do those lyrics? Did you do that?
I did, with a little help from Susan, the great Susan Varela.
Okay.
So it's a mix of three people wanted to sing "Oh Holy Night," and Ben Ty and I won, and so the other people picked other things, but all in good fun. But I would say I structured it, but certainly with the help of Susan and David and other folks. So listen. The reason we do theater is because collaboration is such a thrill. And to work with great people. And I'm new here still. I mean, I've been here for a little over a year. Half of that I was working remotely because of the pandemic from home in New York. But, the talent here is astounding. And this concert will showcase incredible Milwaukee talent, singing, playing, designing, lighting, sounding, and the theater. The Cabot Theater is such a beautiful place, and we really wanted to showcase that, and I think we have.
So, if people want tickets,
Yes.
Where should they go?
SkylightMusicTheater.org. That's THEATRE.org. And oh, look, there it is.
Sure.
And it'll be very prominent on the website. Click and buy a ticket. So you can buy a ticket for any date between tonight and January 10th. And you have 48 hours from your selected date to watch the video.
That's terrific. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap things up. Was there anything I might have left out that you guys want to cover?
I think you did a great job, David.
Oh, well, thank you. You did too.
Well, thank you.
David, you did too.
I just sat down here and listened to the fun banter. I'm just the piano player.
All right. Well, it was good to see you both. And I hope to run into you guys again.
Yes, indeed. Me too.
All right.
Good to see you guys.
And Jamie Lynn, you can come on board here.
Come back, Jamie Lynn.
There she is. You're muted. You're still muted.
I'm just, you know what? I am just super over tech right now. I'm. It's the end of a very tech-heavy year, and my brain has just sort of given up on so many things.
I'll tell you what. I'm listening to Michael Unger, and he's talking about my eyes are crossing. I'm just going like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That the amount of technical knowledge that was needed.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to do the technical stuff, but you have to know that someone can.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty amazing time that we're in, and it really shows off some talents that you never knew people had.
Yeah.
I
think people would really be surprised to know what exactly, especially like small companies like where I come from or Boulevard or things like that, the wealth of knowledge that exists.
Yeah.
Because it has to.
Yeah.
Like I also do a lot of video editing and things like that because I've just had to do small promos and things like that for your company because you can't afford to hire somebody else. It's great when you can. I think that's amazing about Michael Unger is that he does all that stuff.
It's scary. It's scary how much
he is one skilled human.
Yeah. Talk about he's the artistic director equivalent of a triple threat, whatever that is. I mean, he's just it's amazing. So
yeah, for real. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm really happy he's here. I think he's a great leader and an example of an artistic director who really does all the work. Yeah.
And he seems to be a very inclusive person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
very
nice.
His empathy and bringing you can see it in across the board of all the people that he's including for sure. It's wonderful and amazing.
He doesn't know we're talking about him either. I'll bet he's just like he's gone.
He'll watch it later.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just wanted to go over just a couple of extra things that we have from the community for Theater Alliance companies right now. The Village Playhouse has Little Women, which they're doing as a radio play. And I mean, who doesn't know Little Women? Who doesn't honestly really love Little Women? But yeah, it's presented as a 1940s radio drama. That is from December 10th. That just premiered yesterday. And that will be viewing online until the end of the year. Let me see. Where are we here? Come on. You see? I'm telling you. I know. Yeah, everything is broken. Milwaukee Opera Theater, RE, has their video presentation, Orsa Ibernada, which is a vignette from Tales from a Safe Distance that they're doing with the Decamera Opera Coalition. That's also going through the end of the year. These are all streaming events, but they also have one of my favorite things that they do that I have been so scared to join in on as of yet, but it just takes me a while to do things. Took me 11 years to graduate college, not consecutively, but I'm just one of those people. So I have to get the nerve, and I want to nerve it up to join this voice lab because from what I hear and know, it's such a great environment for people to practice their skills. Very warm and inviting and constructive environment. You get feedback and all this kind of stuff from Joanna and the crew. So if you are interested in that, I would definitely jump on that.
That's an outstanding idea. It's really a terrific idea.
It's just
that's something that might live on beyond the pandemic.
Well, they've been doing this for a bit now.
Okay.
Had to go virtual, but it is a limited class. I don't know how limited it is in the virtual environment, but you can go to Milwaukee Opera Theater RE.org. Oh, I forgot. Village Playhouse.org. For their website. But yeah, this is on Sunday, this coming Sunday, at 7 p.m. So go to their website for that. Then in addition to Skylight's holiday offering that we just heard about, they still have Being Earnest, which is their Oscar Wilde's Importance of Being Earnest meets Austin Powers 1960s era setting, fun, vibrant, musical.
Another very clever editing and concept. Very clever.
Also, that Mr. Unger. I'm telling you. That is, you can do all of those things at find all of those things at skylightmusictheater.org. Joanna says that for the virtual voice lab, they take up to 12 singers for that. So I believe they have to reach out to Danny Brilo on that. But you can find all of that information at the at the Milwaukee Opera Theater RE.org website. That's what we got from our Theater Alliance people. Elsewhere in the community, there's a ton of stuff going on right now. So
I have to confess, I just turned on the comments section now.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I missed. So if you were trying to communicate, I was on lunch.
No, we just, I always tell people that if they have questions for the guests, they can do that, and then we just pop up important information that people put out there. When you host next time, you all over it next time. But yeah, so elsewhere in the community, Milwaukee Chamber Theater has a whole bunch of season's greeting stuff going through January 3rd. The Rep just started streaming 2 versions of A Christmas Carol. Next Act has their streaming of The Christians. That's through December 13th. So that
ends this weekend. Yep.
Yeah. That's get on that. And then Renaissance, their streaming of Belonging, which is 3 stories from BIPOC artists, goes through the 20th. You can find out about that. They were Renaissance was on You've Got a Thing a few weeks back. You can find all of the episodes of You've Got a Thing on our YouTube page. We put these nice edited versions up there, and you can find all of this information about You've Got a Thing and Milwaukee Theater Alliance companies at Milwaukee Theater Alliance.org.
Tune in.
We'll be here next week for Schmitz and Giggles. Schmitz and Giggles is coming on next week to talk about their what is it? Their reindeer whodunit. They've got I love Patrick Schmitz and that company. So funny. I saw their Romeo and Juliet kind of sorta a few months back, and I haven't laughed out loud that hard in a while. So that's and Giggles will be here next week, and we got to see if either Mr. Unger or Mr. Bonfilio can do the hosting on that. If not, we might hit you up again, Mr.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be busy.
So, well, I thank you, sir. You are a delight, and we've never gotten a chance to meet in person either. So that's what all this pandemic and video.
We're all meeting virtually, and yeah, it'll be nice to shake a hand now and then.
By the time June rolls around of next year, we will all know each other, just because of You Got a Thing.
That's right. That's right. Good work. Good work, Jamelyn. Good work, and thank you for having this podcast.
Oh, yes, but Boulevard Theater, lest we forget.
Oh,
the
yes.
reason you're here is because you were the guest last week, because they have their holiday offering going on as well.
That's correct. It's called Amy's Snow Job. It's a cute little bon mot video with some animation and
so awesome. It's very much the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation from the 1960s. It's so awesome.
It is. It's very cute, and it's a send up of the recent judicial confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett,
which we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, and she's being questioned by Santa and Santa Lindsay and Santa Kamala. It's pretty cute. Yeah.
So you can
that's
go
on YouTube as well.
And you can find that through Boulevard Theater.
Boulevard Facebook page.
Milwaukee Boulevard Theater.
Milwaukee Boulevard Theater.
You can go to Boulevard's Facebook page and Mr. Booker is all over that posting thing. He's really
look up Booker and you'll go right to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you
all for joining us out there, and we will talk to you somebody next week.
Yeah.
On You've Got a Thing!